The 1991 DTM season was a story of three cars. Two class veterans in the BMW E30 M3 and the Mercedes 190 Evo that would try and hold the fort against a new innovative V8 all-wheel drive monster that had not just arrived to take part but to take over, a manufacturer's battle for the ages. The BMW story in 1991 is one of the most fascinating parts of the entire season. While Mercedes and Audi were rolling out newer, more high-tech machines, BMW was still fighting with the legendary but aging E30 M3. On paper, it shouldn't have been able to keep up. It had a naturally aspirated 2.5 litre 4-cylinder against V8 and ultra-refined aero packages from the competition. But the M3 had something the others didn't: balance, agility and years of development, and standout drivers such as Steve Soper and Johnny Giacotto. They pushed this car to its absolute limits. The M3 was lighter, sharper and more responsive than anything else on the grid, and on technical circuits it could still embarrass the more powerful factory teams. So buckle up and let's jump straight into the chaos, drama and the flat out speed that made the 1991 DTM season one for the books. So here we are, starting on the grid in P15, sandwiched right behind two Audis of Stuck and Biela. Of course, Biela becoming the champion of this season, as we go straight down the Wheatcroft straight into our first corner of the race. Can get caught up a little bit here.
Still there.
We do go around the outside of the Audi there, who then, of course, the traction of the Audis in this season were just impeccable, basically unbeaten in the traction zones and the high-powered circuits. But as we come down here now to the old hairpin, force it through as we come up to Starkey's Bridge, force it round the outside there with Stuck's Audi. This BMW this week has been absolutely impeccable. It's been fun to drive. I wouldn't say I'm the quickest. You know, I am struggling, especially driving a manual car. I tend to do better with semi-automatic paddle shifts and stuff. I do generally struggle a lot more with manual cars, but this car just so high revving, it's so enjoyable to drive around this circuit. It's the first time we come down now into the little chicane section and out the other side as I'm going to go down into the Melbourne hairpin for the first time. Going to sneakily jump up the inside of three of the AI drivers there. Of course, once again, AMS2 do struggle on this first lap, and especially into some of the braking zones, but they seem pretty competitive around this track, so not a lot of overtaking. It's a very difficult track to overtake anyway, to be honest, even in real life. So we survived the first lap as we go on to lap 2 on this very short 15-minute sprint now. We'll try and find ourselves onto the back of our compatriot in another BMW M3. Driving Steve Stoper's M3 today. It's a very impressive season for Steve Stoper. One of the probably standout season in this category of cars. Really impressive, took many wins, you know, especially with the Audi's being so competitive at the time. Very impressive of Steve to be able to take so many wins away from them. The last real year of this M3 being competitive in the DTM series. Of course, they did come to Donington Park in real life in '91. It wasn't a part of the actual DTM championship, it was a sort of add-on race. I believe they did a couple of years where they sort of just went out, and I think it added towards the constructor points or something. I'm trying to read up about it. Not my most invested series, to be honest. It's getting the braking all messed up there into the Melbourne hairpin. Going to lose a lot of traction coming out of it. As you can see, I've got a Mercedes right behind me now. Struggled a lot this week with this car with the braking. It really was a massive struggle for me. And tyre temps. I don't know whether I was doing something wrong. I tried turning the ABS down. Not sure if the cars in real life had adjustable ABS this year, but I tried turning it down and it didn't really seem to help. And as you can see, I'm just struggling with that traction as I flick it into turn 1 there. Redgate, probably one of the most difficult corners to get right on this track. Only got 10 minutes remaining now to sort of make some sort of inroads. You can sort of see the AI doing that very Automobilista 2 thing of sort of finding themselves in trains and struggling to get past each other. If we come up to McLean's here, we're gonna keep it in third here as we try and get the power down up to Copies. Sort of got to go a hit on the apexes there to really get a run down into the S's. Healing and turning down into the S's now, really gaining as the two BMWs get caught up on each other there. As we are going to get a run down into the chicane, into the hairpin. As we cut up the inside, slight contact there, but as we know, rubbing is racing in these old DTM cars. You've got to be willing to get your elbows out. Of course, the V8 four-wheel drive Audi was definitely a standout of this season. But on a tight technical track such as Donington, the BMW really can hold its own to the Audis. In real life, Steve Soper keeping Peeler, the world champion at that time, on his toes all throughout the race. You can watch a full replay of the race that I'll link below in 91, which has a brilliant little snippet from history where Steve Soper talks through a lap of Donington, and really is impressive to just see the confidence you needed to throw these very wild and snappy vehicles around such a tight circuit as Donington. 8 minutes to go here as we're trying to gain on this and letting off a little bit early here, just making sure I hit the braking zone as once again I whack it into second, try and whack it over that chicane. Have to come off the power there for the understeer, throw me to the outside rumble strip there. Yeah, like I said, just getting these cars stopped this week has been incredibly hard, and something I think I'm struggling with. I did set the brake pressure right down in the sim. Didn't adjust it on my Fanatec pedals, but might have helped. I probably could have done with tweaking the setup a little bit more. Just as we go over along with our quickest lap of the session there, and we are slowly, feels like, getting momentum on these three cars ahead. Can sort of see a breakout in from 5th and below, I believe. That meaning that 6th is potentially the best I'm going to get this race. We'll come down that old hairpin. It's just such a lovely corner to chuck the car in third there, and grips on exits. Oh, as the BMW in front loses it a little bit, hopefully giving me a little look on the outside there. McLean's not the easiest corner to overtake on. Really been trying to get my head around this BMW this week and really try and find some time in the race. My qualifying times were not the best against these AI, but 100% there is room for improvement.
Car right.
As we brake late once again down into the
Still
Melbourne
there. You're
hairpin.
right.
Gonna lose a lot of traction on the way here.
Car left, your left.
Goddard's not really been a corner you can overtake on easily. If at all, I think you really have to commit to an inside line and hope that the outside car give you some, probably a little bit more room than he's expected. As I'll run a little bit wide here and touch the grass. It's going to give this BMW a run on the outside here as managed to keep the power down, and the AR being very generous there and allowing me to have the corner. Once again down into third here and try and push through the corner. I haven't got a lot of time left here to sort of gain on these three cars ahead. Yeah, I definitely think this sim does historic racing, you know, to its best. This season was such an impeccable standout, and I'll link the modder below that did all the skins for these beautiful cars, but he also adjusts the AI for you, being as if you just leave it in stock, the Audi has quite a deep advantage on basically all the tracks that you race on. But I think the AI really did probably do quite a good job around this track of getting the full performance out of the vehicles. As we go deep here and we go running to the back of a Mercedes, that was definitely a lock up there and quite a big mistake. Once again struggling with the brakes. Somehow, I've no idea how I managed to keep position here as we get looked up the inside if we have to sort of defend, and he backs out. As we know, the Goddard's definitely not being a place you want to shove the nose down the inside. Onto the weak off straight as we're going to hopefully get a decent run now back on the cars in front. The cars only really losing traction right at the end of a corner, you know, you tend to have quite a lot of grip all the way throughout, if anything maybe a bit of understeer, but then just on the out occasionally you'll see that I'm struggling to keep the power down and really push out the corners out the back end there, once again fighting it. Only 3.5 minutes to go here. We're going to struggle to, well, almost 4 minutes. We're going to struggle to sort of gain on these unless we make a move and get a beautiful run out of McLean's. BMW coming over on me. I'm going to shoot it up the inside here of Coppis. We still give him room here as we power out of Coppis. Beautiful pass there as we try and keep him behind. Really hope that I can hold this position now, going into the S's.
Hold your line. Clear left.
Yeah, the live coverage, the English broadcast of this race that's on YouTube in full is just such a lovely insight, as many of them are on YouTube, that you can sort of look through a database that shows you, really takes you back and shows you what it would have been like to be in these cars in that time.
Still there.
As he shoots up the outside here once again. Goddard's not been the easiest straight to overtake, corner to overtake on, sorry. We're going to try and put the power down now, and there's the Mercedes brakes relatively early now, but as we get it stopped, and we're going to try and follow it out of it, but unfortunately we're blocked mid-apex there from the Mercedes, not able to get round. Oh, slight touch there as they seem to be quite slow down here into the old hairpin. Yeah, one of the things I look forward to is definitely getting a little, oh, as the Mercedes gets a little bit sideways there, using traction down into McLean's as we touch again. These two Mercedes are really struggling in front. I definitely feel like I've got the pacing on me if I could just find a way around, but Donington's definitely a struggle to sort of make moves. You've got to be committed and hope that your opponent gives you a bit of space. Of course, it's been the year of Audi's domination. It was one of the only years really that they dominated. I believe they left in midway through 92 seasons and not returned to the DTM series. I think they sort of got their props and then left. Now as we come down into this final lap, now we're going to try and make as many moves as we can. We've got to be aggressive. As the Mercedes brake early and we go into the back of one of them, spinning them out. Very unfortunate end there, and sort of slow down to maybe see where he is, but unfortunately this brings out the safety car, and that's it for us. And this race, we're not going to get back to green flag racing. So thanks for joining me, and join me on the next one.
It's a big pile up in Redgate.